This video is for my family of subscribers. If you tuned in thinking you were going to see a home birth live or a home birth, I apologize. This isn't clickbait. I just wanted to share some good news with people that I love and I feel a connection with. These are my subscribers. So in a recent video I told you I was expecting my 8th grandbaby. I was corrected. It was actually my 9th and he came last night. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was a home birth. And when I tell people about a home birth, if they're not familiar with it, they get real nervous. They think it's unscientific and dangerous, and it's the complete opposite. You know, cutting edge science is in the natural mode. Okay, so the drug and surgery was real big in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but kind of stalled out. The cutting edge science, so much naturally going on. But there's not a lot of money in it, like so Big Pharma, and Big Pharma doesn't even make anything, so it's really not advertised as much. But let me just tell you this experience. It was amazing. So my daughter called my wife last night and said, I just called the midwife and she thinks I'm going to have the baby within an hour. Literally, within 20 minutes she had the baby. Pushing 3 times and the baby came. Without medicine, without screaming, without pain, without surgery, naturally the way God intended. And like I said, it's not unscientific. Doctors have been studying how to give birth naturally for years. This guy, Dr. Reed, I think it's Dick Reed, in the 30s wrote a book about this where he observed a woman, I think in the Middle East or somewhere, just give a quiet, pain-free birth. And he realized it was her lack of fear that allowed this. And when women go to the hospital and they get all fearful and get all these tubes and everything else, they're interfering with the natural cycle. So I'm not talking about unscientific. I'm talking about science science actually evolving, going back to the way God intended. So basically, she was taught concentration techniques, breathing techniques, but the most important thing was the lack of fear, because when it happened she really couldn't do any of the concentration techniques or the breathing techniques they taught her, but she wasn't scared and the baby came out. And then on a side note, she was tested positive. You know, these midwives do tests. It's not like you're just on your own, and they did test her positive that she's a carrier of the strep B strain. It's kind of common in women, I guess, and when that happens, antibiotics have to be administered so the baby doesn't get the strep B bacteria. But her baby was born in the sac, so her water didn't break until the baby came out. So God protected the baby the whole time from the bacteria, so she didn't need the antibiotic administered. Praise the Lord. So I'm real excited about that. We did videotape it, and if my daughter gives me permission, I'll post it, but I don't know if she'll, at this point she's saying no, but maybe I can break her down. So my little princess, that was her first baby, came 12 days early, and we're really excited. Later this afternoon, my daughter-in-law and her 2 children are being baptized Catholic. She was scheduled to be baptized at the Easter Vigil, but the baby came, so we had to reschedule, so now we're just going. So it's her, my daughter-in-law, their newborn, which is was born like the week of Easter, a couple days, and her 4-year-old child. And this is all part of the new evangelization. See, the old evangelization was to tell the pagan world that Christ is God, that He's Lord of Lords, and the good news, the gospel. Well, the early Christians did such a good job that everybody's heard the message. But there's so many baptized Catholics out there that have left the church. So the new evangelization is to bring them back in. So my youngest son's fiance came into the church out of an evangelical background on the Easter Vigil. And her mother, who's still in the evangelical church, came to the baptism reluctantly, really didn't want her to be Catholic, but felt the presence of God. See, the Eucharist is the presence of God. So when you walk in the Catholic Church, you cannot help but feel the presence of God. And then we have such a godly priest who gave such a powerful message, he basically closed the deal, and she wants to come back home to the Catholic Church. And my daughter-in-law, who's being baptized today, she came from a non-Trinitarian church background, and with her mother was kind of a feminist, and I taught her a lot about feminism. And when she learned about the Catholic faith, it was just so logical and made so much sense. She gave her heart to Jesus, and she wants to be Catholic and be part of the church as well. So there's so much negativity, and there's so much reporting about people leaving the church, and I'm seeing the opposite. I'm seeing people coming home. This is good news. This is a new evangelization, and I just want to share that good news with my subscribers, because I know they love me and pray for me, and I love them and pray for them. And like I said, if you just clicked on because you want to see a home birth, I apologize. I really don't do clickbait. You can look at my videos. I try and make them be about what I say they're about, you know, because I hate clicking on something I think it's something I'm like, wow, there was nothing about that. So if you do see my daughter's home birth again on a video, that'll be the actual video. So we got to edit it, you know, kind of make it a little PG, I guess. So God bless. Thank you for your prayers. Please keep praying for me. And I love you guys. And let's go out and evangelize the world.